welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Andrew.
And my name is Emily.
And, I'm happy to say my love of orange and all things orange no longer has to be tainted.
It no longer has an asterisk.
Or an ass, that works too.
Asterisk. That was a strong start as far as my speaking abilities.
It's been an exhausting election week, and I am, I literally how did I have this together? I think this was pieced together like this. And this is what I had Tuesday night last week. I don't know if you can read that, but I put was
it like some sort of election counting?
It was the remaining states that hadn't been called yet, and I was putting together a matrix for the number of ways that Joe Biden had to win, and trying not to think about the number of ways that Trump had to win, because at that point, a lot of those states are red still because they hadn't started counting mail-in ballots. And exhausting week for me, just trying to keep up with everything. It's like I couldn't peel my eyes away, but at the same time, can I just turn on something on my phone? It's just going to notify me when it's called, and I'll just try to ignore that it's happening.
It's so Tuesday I was like, I'm not even going to follow the results. I knew my husband Rick was going to, and I knew it was going to be stressful. Watching that man watch a football game that he's not even that invested in is stressful enough because he stands up and it's like, so for something he really cares about, I can't, I can't. That's just too much energy. So I was just down here in my office, playing Stardew Valley on my iPhone. And you know what? It was a great decision for my mental health. And but so then my family came into town, and we were about to try to drive over to my brother's house, and our car wouldn't start. So the next morning we called a tow. Our neighbor loaned us a car in the meantime, but the next morning we called a tow. And Rick woke me up to call AAA to get my tow in. And I'm just kind of laying in bed, just kind of halfway between sleep and awake. And I hear Rick say, all I hear him say is called. And he was saying they called it. But I thought he was talking about the tow company had called us. I'm like, great.
Right.
Please go deal with that.
Right.
It's and then I finally realized he was saying they called it. And I was like, oh, wow. Man. And now I'm wearing my Hunky Joe shirt, drinking Prosecco. But if we had recorded yesterday, Andrew, I think that we would have been recording right after they called it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't think it would have been a very coherent episode at that point.
Yeah, I think our phone started blowing up when it got called, right after 9 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would have
so we would have literally been had just started recording probably.
Right. You'd have seen me.
And then we would have had to stop.
We would have stopped. I don't know. I got up out of bed relatively quickly. I mean, I sat there and checked the notifications, going oh my God, is this real? Is this real? It's happening. I can't believe it's happening. I really didn't think this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I got up and made a tasty breakfast, cracked some champagne. We did mimosas, but I did something a little bit different, as I put the champagne in naked mango juice instead of orange juice. And
yeah, that'd be good.
That was pretty tasty. But I only had a small glass. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna have my small glass. I'll have more after I eat my breakfast. I sat down to eat my breakfast, and I looked at the bottle. I'm like, oh, who finished it?
Emily.
Probably. I don't know. one bottle of Prosecco for 3 adults. It was Prosecco. It wasn't champagne. It's just what we had.
Well, no, that's what we have too. But I went to the grocery store because I told you Rick had bought, just in case, one of those tiny little bottles of Prosecco. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm going to the grocery store because I wanted to get enough to share with our neighbors. But I was going to the grocery store. I had to go anyway because I needed to bake an apple pie for a family gathering. And the woman right behind me in line at the self checkout, she has had an enormous box of Top Pot donuts from the QFC. And for those who aren't either in Texas or Washington, Top Pot's a donut shop that's really popular and delicious.
They have
And
that in
so
Texas?
there's like a location in Texas. Yeah, I think Dallas.
Oh wow. I didn't
Or
even know
I'm
that.
actually, you know what? I might be thinking about how Voodoo Donuts has a location in
That sounds more
um
likely.
they have a location in Austin. No, I'm like 85. Top Pot does exist in Texas. There's one in Dallas and one in Austin, at least. Texans love our donuts in the Pacific Northwest, but she's had a
Apparently.
big box of Top Pot and a bottle of champagne. And she looked at me and she saw like me buying ingredients for an apple pie, and we made eye contact, and we're like, "Yup."
You just know. Yep.
Everyone was laughing, and like it felt. I haven't felt that kind level of like levity in Seattle since COVID hit.
Yep.
So that felt really nice. Fireworks. There were people. Some of our neighbors were just in their front yard dancing with bottles of beer at 9 in the morning.
Right.
I was like, I respect the energy.
I dig the energy, although I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little freaked out watching like the crowds of people suddenly congregate. I'm like, this is why we needed mail-in voting in the first place, guys.
It's different when it's outside and you're wearing a mask. It's a
A
lot. It's
little
like,
bit.
well, when you look at like the BLM protests, there were very few cases traced back to those protests because they were mostly outside and people were mostly wearing masks.
Still
Kind of
freaks me
like it,
out.
like how studies have shown that airplanes, if everyone wears a mask, and concerts, if everyone wears a mask, and like there's air circulation, the risk of transmission is exceedingly low. Not
Can you
zero.
just put me in a bubble?
The NBA bubble,
No, just like a literal like plastic bubble with an air purifier strapped to
like
the
the
end.
movie featuring and starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I think there was one. I think the first one was maybe John Travolta. Am I remembering that right? The first Bubble Boy movie.
I do not remember. I don't think I've seen either of them because it sounds
Yeah.
like a terrible plot, but
Well, the plot is a boy with an extreme autoimmune disorder has to live in a bubble, like a literal bubble,
yeah, I know
and
that sounds
yet he falls in love. Yeah. No, I mean I'm not saying it was a good movie. I'm just explaining the
it just
plot.
sounds like unnecessarily tragic. Like why do you got to do that to me?
I mean it might have just been like a prediction of the future.
Well, hopefully this prediction of the future is true. In that oh, I am really looking forward to hopefully politics no longer being about just being angry and who can be the loudest and just kind of that destructive nastiness that's been brought on culturally
Yeah.
in the way that we talk about politics. And like, I just want to talk policies. If we're going to talk politics, I don't want it to be about decency. I want it to be about policies.
Yeah, I don't want it to be about calling people losers and suckers. I grew up with Bush and I really disliked Bush. But at the same time I'm like, I think George W. Bush would have implored people to wear masks and be
Yep.
like good to their fellow
Sure.
humans because I
Yeah.
really do think he is and was like a Christian, and I think that he was misguided. I don't agree with him on most things, but I think that he wasn't a hateful son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm not going to believe that.
I really want to go back to that because,
I don't.
well, not Bush specifically. I'm just saying to the point in the world where we could look at people across the aisle and say, I disagree with you, but that doesn't mean that you're a terrible human.
Yeah. I think my favorite meme from like the election results was about Arizona, and it was Trump trash talks John McCain for the past 6 years
Yep.
in Arizona, and then it's the Michael Jordan meme from The Last Dance where he says, And I took that personally.
And I took that personally.
I think that John McCain, though he did terrible things for the LGBTQ community, I think he meant well and at least had a level of human decency that I just want to see return to politics, like doing things the right way.
Sure.
I don't know if we're losing listeners, because at this point, like, I feel like if you've listened to this podcast, if you listen to my feminist rants for like the past 2 years, then you wouldn't be surprised by this. But maybe we should talk about guitars, because I got some new stuff I'm kind of excited
okay,
about.
one more thing. I want to warn everybody, because if we're going back to just talking about policies, I think it's going to start to completely change our friendship dynamic, because I think you and I disagree on a lot of policies, and we've just been
Me?
united
Do you?
under the, yeah, probably. I mean, I tend to lean more fiscally conservative, and like I've been saying since the beginning of the show that I'm a recovering conservative. And I don't think I've like that's really come out, because I've just been so like turned off by the nastiness out of the White House since we start, like, that happened before we even started the podcast.
That's true.
And we've just been very united under that front. And I'm like, wait, we're gonna have to start disagreeing on stuff now.
But this is also a guitar podcast.
I know.
I think you're pretty socially liberal, and I really care more about, like, as friends, like,
Yeah.
if you're super socially conservative, and I don't mean like in some ways, I mean like racist is
Right.
sexist.
There's
then
a difference.
Yeah, there is. You can be, I think, socially conservative and not a trash heap of a hateful
Yes.
rhetoric machine. Like, I think there is, because I think that you can be like, that's not for me, but you do you.
Sure.
And I feel like that's fine. Like, don't get in anybody's way. Like, if you don't believe in gay marriage, then I mean, don't try to keep other people from getting married.
Exactly.
It's like that. That's what I mean. Like, yeah, in my heart, I don't feel like that's right, but at the same time, like, you live your life. And I would rather everybody accept each other, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, if you're going to, like, hold personal beliefs, then keep them personal. That's what I'm not super coherent. I'm just very excited. But I just want to talk about gear.
Guitars. Tell me about your guitars.
I don't have any new guitars, but my mom is coming over today, and she's going to play some of my guitars, because she I got my first guitar from her, my first guitar lessons from her, but she's never had an electric guitar until this year. So she's I think hooked, and she wants to try out like some of my guitars. But I have some cool things. I have this Cab Zeus mono.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
when did you get that?
When?
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was in the past week, but like, I've just been so behind. I've been turning things down, honestly.
Nice. I've heard nothing but good things about the Cab Zeus.
I'm really excited. I think it's going to change how I do my bass demos. I got this, the
OC5? Heck yeah.
Yeah, so I know that you're excited about this, because I think that it's probably going to come your way at some point.
Yes, please.
The Boss Pocket GT.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. And then they're not within arm's reach, but I got 2 pedals from Swamp Witch that I'm going to demo, the fuzzy tremolo that they make, and the Eat the Rich pedal. And I know that he donates a portion of the proceeds for the Eat the Rich pedal to some really positive charities. I just am blanking on which ones, but I think they're like solving hunger issues in America. I might be making that up. So I waived my demo fee for that one, because I'm like, if you're donating a portion of the proceeds of this pedal to like feed hungry people, then I'm not going to charge you to demo it. So keep that in mind if you want me to demo a pedal.
Right. That seems fair.
Yeah. I thought
donate.
So. Yeah. So that's kind of it on my My new things, I think. And I'm fine with it. But I'm about to get a standing desk, which I'm excited about, but I won't yap about too much. How about you? What's new with you?
I don't have a whole lot that's new with me.
BS, I see a box behind you. If you're listening to the
Oh,
podcast,
what that?
I see a Pod Go box behind Andrew.
That's just no big deal. It's just the
It's
it's
just your
just the
birthday present. He's grabbing it, listeners. He has to unplug it, which means he was playing it.
I've been playing the sucker all week.
It's fun,
And
right?
this is the Line 6 Pod Go. And I'm loving the all the signage that calls back to the red bean. So you can see on
Oh yeah,
the back
like the sticker.
yep, the
Yeah,
sticker for the serial number when you boot it up. The screen boots red with the outline of the red bean.
yeah. You don't judge
So
me on the presets I made just to show people how to make a preset.
oh no, I think I already cleared those.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it exceeded your expectations? Because it honestly exceeded mine.
it's completely exceeded my expectations. I really wasn't expecting it to do as much as it's doing in every single preset. I was expecting to have a lot more limited options with the DSP, and it's still doing a lot more. I know that the Helix can do quite a bit, but overall, this is totally exceeded my expectations. I think the only chunk of this that I haven't liked so far is there's a couple of the distortion models that I'm not
Yeah.
a huge fan of. Like
Yeah.
the rat model isn't honestly, I really didn't like it. But the Klon model is phenomenal. It's like what the heck? Um, it does
The mythic
exactly.
boost or whatever they call it.
I think it's the Minotaur,
Yeah.
and it just does exactly what clones should be doing, and I was really impressed by that specific overdrive model. There's a couple of pitch effects that I'm like it's glitching out a little bit.
I didn't like the pitch effects, but I
I
don't
like
like
some
pitch
of them.
effects in general. Well, I didn't even get to really mess with a lot of them because I didn't want to plug an expression pedal in, and I also didn't want to go through like figuring out if there was a way to change the volume pedal to make it an expression pedal instead. But I didn't like some of the pitch effects. I mean, with anything like that, some like you're gonna be hit and miss on the distortions and the overdrives,
Sure.
and I think the amp sounds were largely fine. Like
Yeah.
the amp
No.
sounds I didn't like were just like sounds I don't like Vox kind of esque sounds.
So one of the amp sounds that I've been leaning on this week is their Fender Deluxe Reverb
Yeah,
because I've got one sitting right there, and I've also got the model in the Iridium. So I've been playing with that with digital variants on that sound for a while. Anyways, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
so I know what that's supposed to sound like in my head. So I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna listen to it and go and think comparatively, and it's pretty spot on. Um,
good.
at least for a clean tone. If I crank up the drive a little bit, it breaks up a bit differently, but no one gets a deluxe reverb for the dirt sounds.
Right, and I think the Iridium probably like I feel like playing dirt through that it felt like a more natural sort of pushing of
Sure,
the tubes, the fake tubes.
right.
Than the other things I've played, but
But this
I
costs the same as an Iridium. Doesn't
yeah, and it has a lot
this is
more, but
what
it's
450?
not even. I think it might be 400 or it's either $400 or $500 now I think about it. But the thing that most surprised me in a negative way about it was I thought there were going to be a lot more reverb modes, and they really weren't. It seemed kind of limited on the reverb offerings.
I disagree. I like the reverb offerings that they had. I think
I
it
mean,
covered.
I like the ones they have, but I was expecting like there was a lot more delay. Like I I haven't released it yet, but I filmed it, so like in my allotted time, I did reverb, pitch, and filter, and I was not expecting to do all of those in one video until I saw how few reverb modes there were comparatively. I was like, well, I might as well just finish this.
So I was going through the reverb modes, and at first glance, I'm like, this doesn't seem like a lot. I mean, at first glance, it covers the bases. once I started digging into them and realizing how many parameters there's like
That's fair.
so many of the reverbs have like 3 flip pages. So it's like 10 to 15 parameters you can tweak. And I'm like, I like pulled up a reverb. I'm like, okay, this is what it sounds like in the stock. Like, this is your particle verb. I'm like, okay, that's pretty. The particle verb is actually my favorite
Yeah.
out of the bunch. I've just been loving how luscious it is. But
Luscious.
I
Luscious
started
Jackson.
I started digging into it, and I can get super wacky and do all kinds of cool stuff. Some like I can get to do like some pseudo shimmer stuff, and like really thrown by how flexible it is. So even if there's only a handful of reverb models, what I'm able to get them to do, it covers anything I should reasonably need for a Sunday morning or a gig. Or honestly, if anyone spends enough time to just sort out what their sound is, the only soft point I really see on this is if you've got um, like weird signal routing that you want to be able to do. But if you're just cool with sticking to mono or stereo for your rig, really the only thing I can see where I would want to like throw a pedal in the effects loop is like for pitch stuff. So if
Yeah.
you've got something like a rainbow machine or a pog or something pitch related that you really want to can't be replicated in this at this
Yeah.
point,
They
you
also
throw
didn't have
that.
any they also didn't really have anything granular. So if you want like some sort of granular thing, but hey, I'm just saying.
It had a bit crusher. The bit crusher's great.
But that's not like the grazer.
No, I don't expect them to have that though.
No, of course not.
This covers every
You want a
basic effect
grazer,
and then some.
a
That's the thing.
grazer. Tough nugs. Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, and the synth sounds were good, I thought.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
forgot about that. I
I was like impressed. I was real impressed.
I think the thing that's really struck me the most is the depth, because I expected to plug it in. I expect to have like 5 overdrives and a couple of delays and a reverb or two, amp and cab, and like a pitch effect. It's what I imagined in my head when I saw Pod Go, but $450. And just I know I shouldn't have thought that because I've played with the previous members of the Pod line. It's like the Pod HD 500X has a pretty decent amount of depth, and that on just older DSP technology, but it just really blew me out of the water. I plugged it in. I really thought I'd be able to get through all of the settings in a couple hours in an evening, and I just
Oh
started going
no.
like I got through amps and pitch effects and like 2 reverbs, and I realized I had to be up for work in like 5 hours. I'm like, whoops.
I hope that you now see like why it took me so long to get it to
Oh,
you. Like
totally.
I was like I can't film all of these in one day.
Right. No, I really don't blame you. So I'm still sifting through it. And I think once I get through the rest of all of the settings and kind of playing around, figuring out what my favorites are going to be, I think I'm just going to work on build. Oh, I haven't even pulled. You know what I need to do next is I need to plug it into a computer and start playing with it in the editor, because I've just been.
Yeah, that the editor is actually really nice. And I told you I
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
imagine
yeah.
that you can re-register it for your email address, but I did use our
Sure.
joint email. Our joint email
Um,
address.
right. No, I haven't felt the need to plug it into the editor yet. It took me a couple minutes to figure out the button interface.
Yeah.
On the
The
front,
the pushing and the
yeah,
pressing and turning for like the fine tuning.
I it took me a couple minutes, and now I'm feeling really comfortable with it, and I haven't felt the need to plug it into the editor to this point.
Yeah.
It's just literally I put it up on my workbench right here, right behind me, and plugged in with a guitar and just sat there and just played around with. I've probably sunk like 8 hours of practice time into this in the last week and a
Nice.
half,
Nice.
and I still
That's a
feel like
lot. That's a lot of time for 1 week with one pedal platform.
it's it's I shouldn't like it this much, because I've been saying for years that I don't want to get into multi-effects, and I don't like having to do menu dives, and I still stand by that. I'm not loving the menu dive thing, but as far as menus go, it's really intuitive. Like if you're gonna go menu dive, this feels really nice. Um,
My light fell. I got one of those loom cubes, like
Mm.
like six to the back of your monitor. And I don't know if it's that my monitor's back is just it's like a little bit matte instead of glossy, but it has fallen down every time I put it up. So let me just adjust
No,
my lighting.
you're all good. My lighting today is brought to you by the sun. I'm facing the window out the side of the room and
Yeah.
just opened up the curtains, and the sun's coming in through this way, just filtering in real nice.
Yeah. I just I'd emailed Loom Cube earlier today and be like, it just keeps falling off my computer. Like if I could get like a clamp mount instead, I feel like that would be a better solution for me, but
Sure.
whatever. I'm about to get a standing desk and I'm really so excited about it. I haven't had a standing desk since I worked in an office.
I have a standing desk at work, but I can't use it because the way that my monitors are set up.
Oh yeah.
Because there's also a shelf right over my desk, so if I were to move
Oh.
move the desk up, monitors just get crushed. So unless I want to like lose half the depth in my desk and bring all my monitors forward,
Yeah, no, not unless you can get like one of those keyboards that pulls out.
yeah, no, I
Which
don't
is
have that.
also I'm also getting that. And I'm going to get a nice little stool, but I'm excited. I'm excited. To health. I would toast to that, but I finished my sparkling.
It's all gone. I'm still working on my Nun tablet for the morning.
What's that?
Um, this has 50 milligrams of caffeine and a whole bunch of electrolytes.
Okay, so it's like hangover juice.
I've definitely talked about it before as a hangover thing, but I'm 100% not this morning. So
No, I believe you.
this is just my, it's nice. I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to mix it up from coffee. It also took me 30 seconds to put this together.
These were both full of coffee. They're both almost gone. Man, I don't know. Like, I know I'm not the only person I know who took a very long nap yesterday, just like releasing the stressors of the past months. But I think it would be a good time to thank our sponsors. What do you think?
I was thinking instead of thanking our sponsors, we could thank our sponsors. What about that?
You know what? You drive a hard bargain.
I'm known for that. It's a
So thank our
reputation I have.
sponsors.
Our sponsor of the Get Offset podcast this week is DistroKid.
I love DistroKid. I'm going to be honest. Like, I used TuneCore for years, and moving to DistroKid was easy and a good financial decision for me, I think, because it cost me like 40 or 50 bucks a year to keep my music on TuneCore. And they might have a couple more like stores, so there might be some more like incremental revenue in, but DistroKid adds stores every day. And I know there's no way I was making an extra 30 bucks a year on those whatever little extras that TuneCore had. I made all my money from Spotify, iTunes, and Tidal. And those are all things that DistroKid has. And DistroKid is getting more things. I keep hearing about it. And like to put your music online in perpetuity with DistroKid, it's like a $50 one-time fee if you don't want to like DistroKid is made to be prolific, but if you really just want to do one record, it's like 50 bucks. And then you don't have to worry about it ever again. And that's pretty great. But yeah, no, I've been working with DistroKid. Like every time you schedule a release, there's going to be hiccups, especially if it's your first time scheduling a release like it was ours. And DistroKid, every issue I've had, they've walked me through it. They've proctored between like me and Spotify when Spotify wasn't showing the Sunday Crush under our upcoming releases under our Spotify profile. Helping us get that instant gratification for the song Good Boy if you pre-order a real sensation. So they've just been really helpful, and it's been just phenomenal to experience the difference between what I had been using and DistroKid. Like from someone who's used multiples and from someone who's also had to deal with like CD baby support. Because right now I released a song through a compilation that was released through CD Baby. And like I just played the song like on my guitar in a demo once, and they're trying to issue like some sort of takedown order. And I'm like, screw you guys, this is my song. Also, I wasn't playing a recording.
Right.
I'm mad about that.
Well, I think the moral of the story is CD Baby. Not a fan. Other moral of the story. Discord Kid, I'm a fan.
Like CD Baby used to be like the thing. And it was really weird in like 2009, 2010, CD Baby just like went completely radio silent for a number of months. And I was actually really surprised when I realized a few years ago that they still existed, because I just had assumed that after all that they went under. But
yeah,
it still exists.
I don't know.
Sorry,
Every time I hear someone say CD Baby, like if you say it just slightly, like too fast or slur it a little bit, it sounds like Santa Baby. I'm like, it's not after Thanksgiving yet.
CD Baby. Da, 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 da. I think that they probably immensely regret the name now. Back then it was like people bought CDs, and now my niece knows what a vinyl record is and how it works. I've talked to her about it. But I brought over the Sunday Crush CD and gave a copy to my brother and showed her, and she was trying to put it on the turntable, and we're like, no. That's really cute that you want to listen to Emmy's music. But Emmy didn't record guitar on that record.
Aw.
That's all right. I don't care. It was cute.
Well, before we start our topic today, one more thing is I would like to try something new here. It's a guitar pick ASMR. Sorry, I can't not laugh. Are those gravity picks?
No, these are string joy picks.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a string joy pick as well.
I bought some from Scott. Did he send you some?
Mine actually says Scott at stringjoy.com on it.
Does it really?
It does, yeah. It says Scott at stringjoy.com.
Mine are small, but oh, that's so weird.
I know.
Well, now everyone's going to email Scott. God. Why would you just put someone's... Well, now I can finally get rid of all of those, all of these ugly boys. Actually, I have so many of these.
I'll take a couple if you're giving them away for free.
No, I was basically saving them to take them on tour, and then I would just like...
throw them at people?
Lose them and not be upset about it. I dropped the pick. I would just lose them and not be upset about it.
Here's another fun one I've got.
Silverstein.
I caught this when they were playing pre-pandemic a show. One of the last good shows I went to.
That's not a Shell reference?
No, it's this is a band.
Yeah. They need to do an album where they do metal versions of... I don't know who they are, but I assume they're metal or hardcore. Where they do hardcore versions.
They're like no core, so like they do a little bit of screaming, but they're also still kind of pop punk-ish.
Well, they should do a record where they cover Shel Silverstein's poems.
I agree, but they've also got like some great Midwestern emo things going on. Just a little bit more edge than some of the original. No, I'm not even going to say that. I don't know. I've got that. I've got some standard Dunlop Tortexes. I've got an Ernie Ball Prodigy that Tom gave me. Tom Kelly. And
okay.
Back when Fender made picks, I don't even know if they still do, but I've got...
Yeah, they still do.
I've had this pick.
It's not autofocusing. Hold it over your face. No. Oh, there it is. Wow, you've had that for a long time.
I've had, like, this has just been floating around, like, my guitar cases since I was in high school.
Now you're out of focus completely. Wave your arms a little. Ha
Come on, focus. Focus, you can do it.
Ooh. There you go. Well done.
Magic.
You figured it out.
My camera doesn't understand me. Anyways,
I
that
know
was a
that
really,
feeling.
really weird tangent on guitar pick ASMR, but I feel like you should make that a demo video. Just straight up record and see how many views we can get on that. Just like kind of dropping them on the desk. Maybe drop them inside a sound hole.
Oh no, that would be like the what is I forget what how
ASMR.
ASMR. I forget the order that those letters go in. ASMR?
I feel
A
like
shimmer?
I feel like someone would like actually listen to that and like watch it on repeat. Make like a 10-hour loop of like dropping picks into an acoustic guitar.
Oh my god. But then I would have to like get them out.
Yeah, but if there's like 100 of them, it'd be pretty easy to do.
It'd be easy to get like the first 70 out. And then after
That should
that, like that last 30 would be really difficult.
should be a sequel video. Sequel to guitar pick in sound hole ASMR is the shaking to get him out, the cursing and the
Rasm, frasm, fudge. It just sounded like the dad from A Christmas Story. Fuddle faking, Bernard, fried, frassin, fuddle sticks.
fudge.
Fudge. I still love how Mike Adams has a fudge overdrive.
That's so great.
He's moving to Pennsylvania.
He is. Bless his heart. I hope that move goes well for him. Mike, if you're listening to this.
He must miss Scrapple so much.
Mike, if you're listening to this, know that I now have an excuse to go to Pennsylvania. And
You have to go to Pennsylvania because everyone needs to experience the joy of Wawa.
that's what I've heard.
Make
No,
your
but
own
seriously,
milkshake.
Mike, friend of the show, you're great. We love you. Safe travels.
My label
And
mate.
I will be sad to know that next time I'm in LA, I won't have the chance to see you, even if it's not likely given how busy both of our schedules are.
Also COVID.
Yeah, there's that too. But anyways, enjoy the move and keep us posted.
Wow.
Well, our topic this week
Yeah, it's kind of
isn't
it's a cobbled together topic in a way. We just kind of were like before this started, we're like,
right.
has there been gear news this week? Like,
Not a lot of news this week. I think
yeah.
all eyes have been peeled away from our typical feeds of gear. And I feel like every time I've seen like a posting in a gear group, I'm like, how can you be thinking about gear? But I'm also like, thank you for helping me get my mind off of things. But there hasn't been like a lot of announcements. The only announcement that I've really seen this week that's we kind of knew about previously, but we're getting more and more teasers on, which is making me really excited, is collaborations, which is something that
we love talking about collaborations on this
we do.
podcast.
Collaborations is something that isn't necessarily unique to this industry, but it is a hallmark of this industry in a really nice way.
So there have been 2 collaborations this week that have actually been teased, and we vaguely knew about one of them, and I don't really remember how we knew about one of them, but the Zvex and Chase Bliss, which I feel like just had to happen because Joel from Chase Bliss got his start at Zvex, right?
That's my understanding, and
I know
think
he
that got
worked with the
leaked on
Lo-Fi
Reddit.
Junkie.
Yeah, I think that got leaked on Reddit like 2 or 3 months ago that
It might have
collaboration
been
was going to be a
leaked,
thing.
but I feel like I actually just straight up saw Zvex post about it. But that might have been after a leak, because I use Reddit, but I actively avoid the guitar channels on
Reddit. I don't. Yeah. I know Zvex posted something about it, but they were really vague. But people were able to put the pieces together. And
it's just going to be a Minnesota Dream Machine. Wow. Didn't have anywhere to go from that one, did you?
Nope. Anyways.
No, but there's been a lot of people talking about like what could it possibly be. I know that like, and for the record, we have no idea, just to be clear. We have not been approached about this at all,
I would like
which
to have
is,
an idea.
I would love, if Zvex or Chase Bliss wants to give us an idea with an NDA, we'd be so stoked on it. But I know people are speculating that it's going to be some sort of take on a Fuzz Factory.
I mean, that's been a hallmark for Zvex. That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, but I kind of wonder if it's going to be something on like the Lo-Fi Junkie, because I know that's what Joel was famous for working on at Zvex. And that's a very difficult pedal to get for an affordable rate from, isn't it? Isn't it like really sought after?
The Lo-Fi Junkie?
Yeah.
I have no idea what the prices are on the used market for it. But I do know that's another classic that hallmark for the for Zvex.
It's a chorus vibrato, and it's it's not that expensive. It's used from 179 and new from 239.
But so here's what I imagine though is Fuzz Factory's already got 5 parameters, and I really don't see how much further they could take that.
I mean, you
So
could do like the ramping and the bouncing with the dip switches, and 5 parameters on the top of the pedal with some toggles, like in the same way that the automaton has different clipping diode options. They have silicone, germanium, or known, and then they have the
yeah, I
different
mean I
mids
could
options.
see it.
Like, it's not going to be like
I,
a Flying Fader automaton series. It's going to be like their standard box. We've seen things
right,
like
right.
that.
They just posted like a preview photo of it from the side. It's like a olive green drab kind of color, I think. If I check here, let me pull this up here.
Yeah.
Recognize my thumbprint, Danny. Sorry, I'm just talking disparagingly to my phone.
You don't have the face recognition.
No, I don't.
That's probably for the best.
Probably. All right, here we go. Okay. So it's brushed aluminum, looks like, with green knobs.
I like that. Actually, yeah.
It's a nice look. Yeah, no, I got it. I got it right here. I got it. I
I
got it.
know, if I really cared, I could like overlay this in post, but I am very busy this week. So it's 2 foot switches. I'm guessing the toggle at the bottom there is for presets. And there might be 6 knobs, just judging from the looks of this.
So here's a thought that I've had. So I could see Fuzz Fact.
Tuesday. Oh my gosh, it's going to be released on the day that this podcast goes live.
Oh
So
yeah.
this podcast, this conversation will be dated by the time.
Oh yeah.
Damn
No,
it.
when this comes out, we're gonna look like total fools.
I know. It's fine. I'm fine with that.
So here's my theory: is I it could be a lo-fi junkie. It could be a Fuzz Factory. Here's my thoughts with the Fuzz Factory. One, they've released the automaton, which is supposed to be it seems to me from a branding perspective, is the drive pedal, like the dirt pedal to end all dirt pedals. You don't need another one. So why would they release a Fuzz Factory? But that brings me to my next point. Is there's a pedal that you got recently from Chase Bliss, which they promised that they were never going to do again, which is do you have it behind you?
Yeah, the ayahuasca.
Yeah. And what is the ayahuasca? You may ask if you don't remember. Emily,
It's a fuzz and a tremolo.
Oh, there we go. Now, Zvex is known for a fuzz, and Chase Bliss is also one of their most popular pedals, is that they've done several iterations of, is the warped vinyl. I'm wondering if a follow-up to the ayahuasca, because they said that they're not going to do another one, but there's still a lot of people saying that's such a great combo. We would love that. I wonder if there's enough people that they got. I mean, I'm sure this has been planned well in advance, so maybe I'm just thinking my thought process is going out of the order that they would have thought of it. But I just think that would be a really great combination to do like a warped Fuzz Factory sort of situation, warped vinyl, a fuzz vinyl. So I don't know how they would name that, but
is warped kind of like vinyl's basically a chorus, yeah?
Chorus vibrato, yeah.
So like maybe the fuzz would be like on the wet signal. That'd be very, very shoegaze. Sorry, just my second monitor is red and fuzzy right now, so it's a little
Gross.
distracting. Yeah, it's pretty gross. But I mean, Zevex is always down to do weird stuff with their fuzzes.
Yep.
And
Oh
it's a
yeah.
fuzz theremin. This is a pedal I don't understand still. So weird.
I mean,
so that's you know, Zevex is known for their fuzz primarily, but yeah.
I see it going that direction. I don't know if I see it
Are
either
there
going that
any?
way or a riff on the Lo-Fi Junkie because
Yeah.
assuming that Joel did work on that. So I see it going one of those two ways. But if they go a completely other direction, I'd also be very excited. And I have full faith that whatever it is, it's going to be very tempting for me to drain my gear budget right now and just pick one up.
I mean, I don't know why we haven't just asked our friends at Zevex or Chase Bliss what it is.
Because
that's rude.
part of me wants to ask and part of me just wants to be surprised on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I mean surprises are nice. There aren't
I
a lot
like
of
being
surprises in the
surprised. There's
world.
been a couple releases that we've been looped in on, and like it's really cool to know about it beforehand. But the other part of me is like, I don't know, it's kind of been cool just to like be part of the oh my god, it's happening, kind of like day of release feeling. But
Yeah, I mean that's just one of the things about like you love an industry, so you get into it, and then like at some point in your life you miss the mystery of it.
sure.
Yeah.
The other collaboration that got announced, and both of these collaborations are part of the or sponsored by, put on by, organized by the pedal movie from reverb.com. So we can thank Dan Orkin for that.
Which I might be in. I don't know yet. Like I hope I don't end up on the cutting room floor, but if I do, I understand. It was just so exciting to
Sure.
be part of it.
So the other collaboration is Death by Audio Effects and Earthquaker Devices, and it's no secret that Earthquaker Devices has been a favorite of mine since day one of the show.
And a friend of the podcast.
Yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about what Julie and Jamie have been up to, and my goodness, I want to see what they end up doing for that collaboration. I have no
I
idea
have
where they're
no
going to take that.
idea.
Both of them are known for fuzz, and kind of some brutal, wacky effects. That's kind of they're not the same, but they're in like the same mantra or same vein for how they look at things and what they produce. It's kind of like it's all absolute gold, but it's not standard either.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's like if I had to like think of one pedal that Earthquaker Devices is associated with, I couldn't name one. Like I couldn't just stick to one. I'd be like, oh well, this and this and this, and it's the same with Death by Audio. Like,
well, I mean, Earthquaker got really started off with a hoof. Was part
yeah,
of like their. I mean, I think that was
but
the first big thing that Jamie did.
I feel like they're almost more known for like Rainbow Factory. It's like it depends. It's so much depends on who you ask. Like there's some pedal companies where like, what do you know? Like name one pedal from this company, and you feel like maybe 80% would give the same answer or like the same type of effect. But I don't think you can do that with either of these.
I'm gonna step out for like 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm having some issues with my monitor. It's pretty exciting. It's just all red. Oh my gosh. Oh. Huh. It's the connection from the computer to the monitor because the monitor itself, when it's not attached to anything, I don't know. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. I know I was going to talk about something during this time. Oh yeah, I took a nice little break this past week from releasing a constant flurry of demos. Normally, I try to do demos at least on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we release the episode on Tuesday, and then Thursday is just kind of a break. And even though I've been a little behind in filming my demo just because I got so much at once, man, it felt good to take a little break. Like last week on the podcast, I mentioned to Andrew that I work 12 hours a day. And I don't remember if it was a comment on the YouTube or if someone in the Patreon chat said, "You looked really tired when you said that." And I was like, I was really tired. So I just was like, you know what? I'm not going to stress on it. I'm just going to take a little vacation. And if my YouTube channel can't survive a little, I'm just going to turn that monitor off, a little break from me, then it doesn't have any fortitude. And I really, whatever. It should be able to withstand like taking a couple days off. So thanks for everybody for understanding that. I just needed a little break from filming the demos and releasing the demos last week. So thanks for understanding. Everything's fine. I just was tired and stressed and also have family in town. So that's that. Everything all right, Andrew?
Everything is A-okay. Not a smoke detector this time, but,
Not a smoke detector, not a bathroom emergency.
it was family related. So
We actually, I know we didn't think that topic would take a lot of time and maybe it didn't, but we have pretty much our normal length for an episode.
more or less,
But
I
what
think
would you like to see from a dual DBA EQD collab?
man, I think both of them are known. I want to see some pitch shifting. I want to see some sort of pitch shifting. I think Earthquaker's DSP platform gives a lot of flexibility for what they could do together. And so I wouldn't hate to see a DSP platform pedal like the Avalanche Run or the Pyramids, but with the two of them. I know DBA did the Rooms recently, which sounds freaking amazing.
It does. They also
And
have the Echo Dream 2, which is cool.
I mean, I guess the question is it going to be a mashup of two existing pedals, or is it going to be something brand new that hasn't existed before? Because if
I
it's
don't
something
know.
if it's a mashup, I could see something like a like one of the fuzz circuits from Death by Audio mashed in with the Rainbow Machine. I could
Ooh.
see that just being phenomenal.
You've predicted two. You think they're both going to do a modulation with the fuzz?
Ooh, yeah. Maybe I don't like that. I imagine they've all talked about if. I guess if the pedal movie is coordinating it, I can't imagine they'd like say, "Hey, you guys both do the same thing. We'll see who can make it better." Ha ha. That would seem a little sinister.
That's funny though.
Man. Then again, like Earthquaker Devices has done some phenomenal delays, and I think one that doesn't get enough love is the Disaster Transport series.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Avalanche Run and Dispatch Master have been classics, but I would love to see a riff on the Dispatch Master, on that end of things. I think that could go really well.
Cool.
I'm looking at my gear budget. And I'm going through and thinking, I think I'm gonna probably pass on the ZVEX Chase Bliss one this week.
But you don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. I think I'm gonna hold off. I don't have anything MIDI right now. Like no MIDI capability, and I feel like I wouldn't be getting the most out of it if I went that route. So
well, Matthews Effects is going to release the what's it called? Is it
Technician? Oh, what is it? No, not the astronomer. They've
I
got.
I beta tested it for a while, and I'm like, I think it's the Technician, but it's a MIDI controller, and it has the computer interface was actually really really easy to use,
Right.
and ultimately it's so small, and I think it's really going to make a lot of people's lives a lot easier if you use a lot of MIDI. Could
I
you
don't
not
really
figure
have
it out?
anything that's MIDI capable right now. So I'm not sure I get the most out of it. I think given between that, knowing that there's also a Earthquaker devices and Death by Audio collaboration, I think I'm going to hold out for that one. And I'm probably just I'm going to buy whatever that is. Whatever they come up with, I'm just going to, the moment it goes live, $300-400, whatever, I'm going to drain most of my gear budget and it's going to happen.
Let's message Oliver first. See what we can do.
Okay, well, then message him before I admit that I'm willing to pay for it.
Do we know when that's getting released? Because I know the ZVEX Chase Bliss one is Tuesday, but I don't remember seeing a teaser date.
Yeah, I don't
on
know
the
if there's a date
Earthquaker.
here.
Oh, I don't know why I opened that. Did we get more? Oh gosh, we get so much junk mail from stuff, don't we? Like this is riveting, Andrew and I just on the video
Right.
podcast.
Man, Death by Audio.
Earthquaker.
Man, I'm gonna feel real bad if they.
Oh,
Oh, here we go. It's a movie. So they put up like a 1-minute clip.
About the idea of brand collaborations for the pedal movie, my first thought was Death by Audio, and I pretty much demanded to work with them.
They're like just one of the companies that I think is one of the greatest pedal companies. When I heard what Jamie had programmed, I was like, I better make something cool too.
It shows both of our unique styles and also highlights some similarities to it. Might not work in every situation, but it's always going to be awesome.
it's gonna be weird.
It's gonna be weird.
Reverb.com/ oh, that's also being released 11/10 at 10 a. Oh, darn it, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Wait.
So that'll be 8 a.m. our time.
Well, shoot, I was gonna sleep in on Tuesday because I'm working the evening shift, but I guess I'm getting up at 8 a.m. and buying it. Shoot, I thought it was gonna be like a month.
Oh gosh, that's like coming out now.
All right, guys. So if you're listening to the podcast still, know that right now I'm probably peeing myself, and I'm eagerly awaiting a shipping notification from Earthquaker Devices and Death by Audio. I'm just gonna buy it. So listening at the end of the video that they put out, I was just I heard some pitch in there and I heard some delay.
Ooh, you think that they were using that pedal? Because I heard some fuzz in there too.
I mean, there's probably several things in that chain. Maybe I'm just hearing what I want to hear. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think there's a single thing that they could do that I wouldn't enjoy, especially if it gets weird and wacky. So
yeah,
I'm shoot, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. And I'm about to be broke.
yes. Yeah, I got paid this week.
All right. Well,
all right.
I don't have a lot more to say other than, oh my God.
I clearly just sent out an email to somebody is all I'm saying.
The email's like, help, I'm going to be broke.
The subject line is 11/10 pedal release.
Do you send that to Dan or?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We're going to start pulling some strings after the show's recorded, but since it's already been recorded, you don't get to find out. Sorry. Awkward.
All right. Well, everybody out there,
we're nerding out and we're
nerding out a little bit.
This is going to derail my entire, son, here we go. This just derailed the rest of my weekend because now I'm going to spend a bunch of time digging and messaging everyone and finding out, like ensuring that I need to get my hands on this.
What's it? Yeah. Cool. Well, to everyone out there watching on YouTube, thanks for thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily.
And I have been Andrew.
Goodbye.
Bye.